Hello and welcome to a game of two halves. I'm your host Joe Smith, and in today's episode we'll be taking a look at how important training and facilities are in sport. We'll be taking a look at a rising club in Port Albert who have recently been granted permission to build their own ground. A behind the scenes look at the facilities at the USW Sports Park in Treforest, and we will be speaking to past and present students here on the sports journalism course. But first, it's time to look at today's Welsh sporting headlines. The Six Nations returns this weekend, and Warren Gatland has named his Wales side for the game against France at the Principality Stadium on Sunday. The big talking point is that George North is absent from the side. In football, Cardiff City edged out Huddersfield Town last night in a 1-0 win. Famara Jeju netted his first goal for the club. The Bluebirds have now won their last 3 games and are 7 points off the playoffs. Meanwhile, Swansea had to settle for a point after a 1-1 draw against Watford last night. The Swans had taken the lead through Ryan Andrews' own goal, but Wesley Hoyt earned a point for the home side. Cardiff and Swansea are both starting to gain momentum ahead of the South Wales derby that is looming next Saturday. Now we will start today's show looking at Afan United football clubs. The Port Albert-based club were founded in 2020 and have already won back-to-back promotions in their early history. With the news of Afan United are set to their own ground, third-year Sports Corner student Connor Green spoke to manager Vincent Lewis.
There are many established local football clubs in the area of Neath Batolba, with teams such as Trevelyan, Afan Lido and Batolba Town. But in the last couple of years, a new side have begun to rise, Afan United Football Club. After having 2 back-to-back promotions, the club have recently been granted permission to have their own ground, and are in the final discussions. Our manager Vincent Lewis is excited about the news.
Massive for our club, you know, and for the community. I mean, as you can see behind me, this is a derelict that has been for years. So if we can get it over the line for our club, our junior section, which is starting to grow, and we can build on that, and for the rest of the local clubs in the area to have another facility they can use. So it would be massive, yeah.
The club are currently ground sharing with Afan Lido, and after an image of the proposed stadium was revealed, it will be built right next to Afan Lido's Marston Stadium. Vincent Lewis is not only looking forward to how the new ground will help his club, but the local community.
Definitely, yeah. It's a big thing with the council not maintaining all the grass pitches now, and there's no pitches to play on, and especially with the weather we've been having. It's, you know, for the youngsters, this will be available all around the clock. So they're bound to develop, yeah, with the right coaching as well.
Afan United are currently top of the South Wales Alliance Football League Division 1 West. The team have won 28 points from 11 games and only suffered 1 defeat, and have a number of games in hand with the teams below them. Vincent Lewis is hoping that the good news off the pitch can help carry the good news on it.
Well, so far, with a lot of postponement, so a lot of games to catch up on in the next few months of the season. But hopefully we'll have a squad strong enough to cope. The ambition from the start of the year was hopefully again another promotion. So a 3rd promotion on the trot would be ideal, and then we can push on from there. So that is the aspiration.
Now, as sports journalism students here at USW, we have the privilege to go to the sports park every Wednesday to report, interview and much more. We get to have a first-hand look at what the facilities there are like. Third-year student Connor Green spoke to the head of sport, Steve Savage, to find out more.
This is the University of South Wales Sports Park, located in Treforest. The sports park hosts many different sports and bucks fixtures here every Wednesday. To have a better perspective on the training and facilities at the sports park, I caught up with Steve Savage.
My role is head of sport for all non-academic sport and activities, so looking after predominantly sport facilities that we have at the sport park and on campus fit zone, and also making sure that we have sporting opportunities for those students still at Newport campus, Cardiff campus. Day to day is varied, looking at financial budgets for sport, non-academic sport, looking at the staffing levels, operational levels, and the programs that we directly responsible for delivering ourselves within the USW sport team, or indirectly, so supporting the the Bucks provision that Students Union lead on and run. So it's making sure that we can facilitate the games programs, the training programs.
Steve Savage also talked about how he feels on the facilities and the relationships with clubs and athletes it can create.
Key partnerships that the university have with clubs and teams and associations like Football Association of Wales, Pontypridd United Football, Pontypridd Rugby, Welsh Netball, Welsh Hockey, Hawarden Ladies Hockey Clubs, Welsh Netball, different various clubs. Our teams do the best they can based on what they have. We've got fantastic facilities. Whatever our students need, I think it's important the university can facilitate. But as I say, we're mainly facilitators for that, i.e. making sure the facilities are set up correctly and well maintained, that the programme is really well led by our Students Union.
Steve Savage also discussed that with Newport County training at the sports park only a few days before the FA Cup game against Manchester United shows just how good the sports park is.
Newport ahead of playing Man United a couple of weeks ago in the FA Cup, trained with us, which is great. The academy are based with us at the moment, training a couple of days a week. So good for our students to have professional football teams based in and around it, for them to see it, but also for yourselves. And your course is a fantastic course, Connor, with the sports journalism. To get your students wrapped around it. Every Wednesday you're promoting what we're doing. It's really important that people know what we're doing for future students to come in and actually recognise that USW might be a place for them to study.
Now on A Game of Two Halves, we like to catch up with students who have graduated the course and ask them to tell us their experiences, memories and what they enjoyed the most about the course. So third year student Halves spoke to graduate Dylan James about his time at USW.
So Dylan, it's been a few years now since you've been away from the course here at USW. Just tell us what you've been up to since, and tell us what you learnt on the course.
So I'm now working at Wales Online. I'm a sports writer, but predominantly write on rugby as well. First came in as a social video producer, did a lot of social content, and then gradually started doing more written work then. And yeah, tying into your question about the course, I think it set me in good stead to do all those things, because you're not just writing on the course, you're doing all the video side as well, so it's perfect really.
And what sort of opportunities did the course give you? Did it take you to any sort of games, or what sort of skills did they teach you here?
Obviously going up to the sport park once a week was a pretty invaluable experience. Seeing live sport, doing the live tweets, I do a lot of live matchday commentary, live blog commentary for the Wales games during the Six Nations, and doing updates when I was at the sport park. It's kind of similar, it ties in, so there's lots of things that I did whilst at the sport park, which have really put me in good stead, like I said, for now.
And during your time here at the uni, you were impacted by the pandemic. How was that? I'm guessing you had to do all your lectures online.
Yeah, frustrating to be honest. Obviously would have much preferred in person. It's all well and good, having online lectures and this obstacle, and we had to overcome it by going online, but nothing replicates in person. I'm going to matches as well, so yeah, it was tough.
Now I'm delighted to be joined by second year student Iestyn Thomas to talk about his time on the course and his work placement. So Iestyn, thanks very much for joining us today. What's it like being a second year student here on the course?
Yes, it's good fun. I think I was probably a little bit naive when I first came onto the course. I just assumed that journalism was all about the written work, but there's quite a lot of aspects that you pick up during the second year. So editing things and creating audio and TV packages and making graphics and things like that. And yeah, so there's quite a lot of difference, and it's all good fun at the moment. So
we mentioned that you're on placement. Have you been able to use some of the stuff that you've learned on the course on your placement?
Yeah, so at the moment I'm on 2 work placements at the minute, one with Pontypridd RFC, and then I luckily had a week with Wales Online. And yeah, some of the video things have come in quite handy, just by simply doing a lower thirds on an interview, just to have their name pop up, just to see who's speaking is always nice. And yeah, using different skills is quite interesting, but obviously still going back to the written work then, whenever you're doing a match report or maybe a piece or something like that.
And how did these opportunities come up?
Yeah, I was very fortunate that someone got in touch with me and asked if I wanted to do work with Pontypridd, and one thing led to another, and it was all kind of set up in a way. And yeah, it's all been good fun. You know, I really enjoy covering games in the Welsh Premiership, mainly because there's no screen, so you have to really keep up with what's going on in the field of play. And then with Wales Online, it was rather fortunate with the link between the course and Wales Online itself, and I managed to gain a week there and get the opportunity to cover Ospreys versus Scarlets, which is one of the biggest derbies in Wales.
So you're clearly a big rugby fan. Has the university managed to give you any chances covering other rugby games other than the placement that you're on now?
Yeah, the university has given quite good opportunities, you know, albeit either at regional matches, so the Ospreys, Scarlets, Dragons or Cardiff, but been very fortunate to have a couple of opportunities at the Principality Stadium as well. I've been covering Wales against Georgia in 2022, and then most recently last year Wales against England, which is obviously quite tense because of the player strikes. But yeah, you know, there's real good opportunities that you get with the course.
So finally, we'll wrap this one up. What would you recommend the course to somebody?
Oh, without a doubt. You know, you learn so many different things. Obviously, myself from a rugby background, you kind of develop into working on other sports as well, like football and hockey I've covered, and netball as well over the last year or so. So yeah, I highly recommend it.
And do you feel fully... Anyway, we're a little bit short on time. So now it's time for us to talk to even more students on the course. We caught up with fellow second year student Jordan Jones to talk about his placement at Cardiff City Ladies.
It's been a lot harder than the first year, and it gets really serious in the second year. There's actually jeopardy towards what you're doing, and at certain points I thought this wasn't a career for me, but then I found certain things like the work placement, and when we're doing our portfolios now, I'm starting to see reason with doing them, and I'm now enjoying it again. So I joined Cardiff Ladies a bit late. A couple of us other boys joined Cardiff Ladies, and I came in and I wanted to be different, so I texted the sort of media man and said, look, this is what I can do, this is what I can add. And he said, yep, all right, come aboard, there's a load of you, but you know, we can delegate. And a couple of months later, I've been away to Chatham, Plymouth, rugby, done the home games, and they've been awesome. I've done about 59 out of my 70 hours in the space of 2 months, and I want to stay doing it, really. The game days at home, they have a media box in Newport Stadium, which is awesome. They've just got new owners, and the media department is going up. And on away days, we are doing everything. On away days, we're taking photos, we're doing a live blog, we're doing match reports, we're doing the previews with the players. We're talking to the other media teams. So Cardiff Ladies has been a great help to me this year.
And that's about all the time we have for in today's episode. But this is what you can expect from the next episode of A Game of Two Halves. I hope you enjoyed this episode of A Game of Two Halves. It was a pleasure to be your host today. Thank you for the VTs created by third year sports journalism students, and we thank everybody for watching, and goodbye.